How are you? Hope you all are keeping fine. Children, I have already completed lesson 2, that was growth of nationalism. Now today I am going to start the third lesson, first phase of Indian national movement. Now children, the history of Indian national movement is broadly divided into 3 phases. Now, the lesson which I am going to do today is the first part. We have 3 parts in the first phase of national movement. Now the first one is the early nationalist phase. The year was 1885 to 1907. The second is the assertive phase, which is from 1907 to 1916. And the third is the Gandhian era, 1915 to 1947. Now the Gandhian era is named because during this time Mahatma Gandhi played very important role in the independence of our country. Now we'll start with the first early nationalist. Children, in initial years, means first when the Congress came into existence, at that time it was led by a group of leaders known as early nationalists. Because children, later on you will read many places early nationalists and assertives. So here only you should understand well that who were the early nationalists. These were the member of these groups were drawn from the educated middle class families at that time. They were educated people and they consisted of professionals, lawyers, barristers, teachers and officials, and they drew inspiration from Western liberal and radical thoughts. Now children, many of these leaders from this class, they were educated in England. If you remember in your previous chapter also, I have already told you that many of our freedom fighters at the first nationalist movement, they were all educated in England. They were from rich families. They got their education abroad, and as they were living there, they felt that British intended to be just to Indian, but they were unaware of the true state of affair of Indian. That means these leaders thought that in nature wise British were very just and true and good people. Only the problem was that they did not know the true condition of Indian society. Only that is why they were not able to do anything just for the Indian people. Now children, during this period of time, when early nationalists formed a group, they came from all the parts of India, not only from one section or one part of India. They were from various parts like Dr. W.C. Banerjee, Ras Bihari Ghosh, Surendranath Banerjee and R.C. Dutt from Bengal, Dadabhai Naroje, Gopal Krishna Gokhale, Firoz Shah Mehta and Justice Ranade from Maharashtra and Gujarat. Then P.R. Naidu, Subramaniam Iyer and Ananda Chiru from Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu. Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya from Uttar Pradesh. And liberal Englishmen like A.O. Humes and Wedderburn, they were English retired officers who helped the Indian leaders to get independence. Now, the earliest nationalist leader who led the Congress and the national movement in the initial year were very strong believers of the open-minded and moderate politics. I have already told you in just few minutes before that they had a strong belief that the British were just and fair people. Now children, the earliest nationalists, they asked only for constitutional and other reform within the framework of British rule, as they had faith in the British for their series of justice and fair play. Again the same thing comes here, that these people, the early nationalists, they asked for whatever they wanted, for the reform that they wanted in Indian government. They wanted within the constitution which was framed by British. They did not wanted to do anything which can agree or annoy the Britishers. So they, whatever they wanted within the constitutional reforms. Now children, belief of the early nationalists. What did they believe? It was their hope that British would grant home rule to Indians. They had a faith in British government, and they thought that they will surely give the Indian to power to rule over India. They believed that the British rule had many benefits, and how, for example, it added in cleansing social evil. They thought, these nationalists thought, that the already British has abolished many evils that was availing in the society. That was sati, then untouchability and child marriage, which was abolished by British. So these earliest nationalists thought that they had done something good for Indian society. They were of the opinion that British would help Indian govern themselves according to Western standard. They thought that British will train India how to rule well their own country, as the same way British were ruling England or their own country. Now, demands of the early nationalists. The early nationalists, whatever the demand they had, what the demand they made to the British were in few headings. The first one was constitutional reform. They wanted some changes in the constitution which was prevailing at that time. The early nationalists wanted a large share in the government of their country. They believed that eventually India would move ahead and it will become a democratic country. If I explain you in the simple word, they wanted that in government, more and more Indians should have a share, and if they will have a share in the government, they will learn how to rule the country, and naturally after a few years when British will hand over the power to Indians, then Indian have to rule the country. That is why they wanted more power in the government. They therefore aimed at winning freedom through a gradual process. They did not wanted immediately the freedom. They wanted slowly the freedom should be one by one. First few things should come under Indian, then another few power should come. They did not wanted the power all of the sudden. Gradually they wanted to gain the power so that they may not annoy the British. So their demand was as following, like abolition of Indian Council. They thought that Indian Council should be abolished. Then expansion of Legislative Council and Legislative Assembly. Both in center and in province wise, they should have more share in that. Then increasing the membership of Indian by including some member elected in local bodies such as Chamber of Commerce and universities. The local bodies which was running at that time in various parts of India, they wanted more Indian members in that. Then by beginning of 20th century, they made a demand for Swaraj or self-government within the British Empire. They wanted that British will be there. They did not wanted British to go away, but under the British only, they should have some power to lead their country. So not a complete Swaraj, but a small part they wanted. Now children, these are the points which I have already explained you now. There are many other points that like economic reform and about various leaders that I will teach you in the next class. For this class, children, go through the lesson. It is very important to read the lesson, children, because you will not find the answer in one paragraph. If I give you any question, you will not find the answer in one paragraph. Please don't try to search in single paragraph. You have to go through the lesson thoroughly so that you can write the answer in your own word. So, till page number 36, you read and understand properly. And if you get time, you can read some more pages and questions which is based on this, the partial economic changes that I have read. So if short questions are there, you can do the question in your copy, and later on I will explain the remaining part. I hope whatever I have taught you, you have understood. Thank you, children. Have a good day.